Book 10. The Iliad. Odysseus and Diomed go out as spies and meet Dolon, who gives them information. They then kill him, and profiting by what he had told them, kill Rhasus, king of the Thracians, and take his horses. Now the princes of the Achaeans slept soundly the whole night through, but Agamemnon, king of Atreus, was troubled, so that he could get no rest. And when fair Hera's lord flashes his lightning in token of great rain or hail or snow, when the snowflakes whiten the ground, or again as a sign that he will open the wide jaws of hungry war, even so did Agamemnon heave many a heavy sigh, for his soul trembled within him. When he looked upon the plain of Troy, he marveled at the many watchfires burning in front of Ilium, and at the sounds of pipes and flutes, and of the hum of men. But when presently he turned towards the ships and host of the Achaeans, he tore his hair by handfuls before Zeus on high, and groaned aloud for the very disquietness of his soul. In the end, he deemed it best to go at once to Nestor, son of Neleus, and see if between them they could find any way of saving the Achaeans from destruction. He therefore rose, put on his shirt, and bound his sandals about his comely fleet, flung his skin of a huge tawny lion over his shoulders, a skin that reached his feet, and took his spear in hand. Neither could Menelaus sleep, for he too boded ill for the Argives, who for his sake had sailed from far over the seas to fight the Trojans. He covered his broad back with the skin of a spotted panther, but put on a casque of bronze upon his head, and took his spear in his brawny hand. Then he went to rouse his brother, who was by far the most powerful of the Achaeans, and was honored by the people as though he were a god. He found him by the stern of his ship, already putting his goodly array about his shoulders, and right glad was he that his brother had come. Menelaus spoke first. "Why," said he, "my dear brother, are you thus arming? Are you going to send any of our comrades to exploit the Trojans? I greatly fear that no one will do you this service than spy upon the enemy alone in the dead of night. It will be a deed of great daring." And King Agamemnon answered, "Menelaus, we both of us need shrewd counsel to save the Argives and our ships, for Zeus has changed his mind and inclines towards Hector's sacrifices rather than ours. I never saw nor heard tell of any man as having wrought such ruin in one day as Hector has now wrought against the sons of the Achaeans, and that too of his own unaided self, for he is son neither to god nor goddess. Then Argives will rue it long and deeply. Run, therefore, with all speed, by the line of the ships, and call Ajax and Idomeneus. Meanwhile, I will go to Nestor and bid him rise, and go about among the companies of our sentinels to give them their instructions. They will listen to him sooner than to any man, for his own son, and Meriones, brother in arms to Idomeneus, are captains over them. It was to them more particularly that we gave this charge." Menelaus replied, "How do I take your meaning? Am I to stay with them and wait your coming, or shall I return here as soon as I have given your orders?" "Wait," answered King Agamemnon, "for there are so many paths about the camp that we might miss one another. Call every man on your way, and bid him be stirring. Name him by his lineage and by his father's name. Give each particularly observance, and stand not too much upon your own dignity. We must take our full share of toil, for at our birth Zeus laid this heavy burden upon us." With these instructions, he sent his brother on his way, and went on to Nestor, shepherd of his people. He found him sleeping in his tent hard by his own ship. His goodly armor lay beside him, his shield, his 2 spears, and his helmet. Beside him also lay the gleaming girdle with which the old man girded himself, when he armed to lead his people into battle. For his age stayed him not. He raised himself on his elbow, and looked up at Agamemnon. "Who is it," said he, "that goes thus about the host and the ships alone in the dead of night, when men are sleeping? Are you looking for one of your mules, or for some comrade? Do not stand there and say nothing, but speak. What is your business?" And Agamemnon answered, "Nestor, son of Neleus, honor to the Achaean name. It is I, Agamemnon, son of Atreus, on whom Zeus has laid labor and sorrow so long as there is breath in my body, and my limbs carry me. I am thus abroad because sleep sits not upon my eyelids, but my heart is big with war and with the jeopardy of the Achaeans. I am in great fear for the Danaans. I am at sea, and without sure counsel. My heart beats as though it would leap out of my body, and my limbs fail me. If then you can do nothing, for you two cannot sleep, let us go to the round of the watch, and see whether they are drowsy with toil and sleeping to the neglect of their duty. The enemy is encamped hard by, and we know not but he may attack us by night." Nestor replied, "Most noble son of Atreus, king of men, Agamemnon, Zeus will not do all for Hector that Hector thinks he will. He will have troubles yet in plenty. If Achilles will lay aside his anger, I will go with you, and we will rouse others, either the son of Tydeus or Odysseus, or fleet Ajax and the valiant son of Phylas. Someone had also better go and call Ajax and King Idomeneus, for their ships are not near at hand, but the farthest of all. I cannot, however, refrain from blaming Menelaus, much as I love him and respect him, and I will say so plainly, even at the risk of offending you, for sleeping and leaving all this trouble to yourself. He ought to be going about imploring aid from all the princes of the Achaeans, for we are in extreme danger." And Agamemnon answered, "Sir, you may sometimes blame him justly, for he is often remiss and unwilling to exert himself, not indeed from sloth sloth nor yet heedlessness, but because he looks to me and expects me to take the lead. On this occasion, however, he was awake before I was, and came to me of his own accord. I have already sent him to call the very men whom you have named, and now let us be going. We shall find them with watch outside the gates, for it was there I said that we would meet them. In that case, answered Nestor, the Argives will not blame him nor disobey his orders when he urges them to fight or gives them instructions. With this he put on his shirt, and bound his sandals about his homely feet. He buckled on his purple coat of two thicknesses, large and of rough shaggy texture, grasped his redoubtable bronze-shod spear, and wended his way along the line of the Achaean ships.